Today's seam finish is going to be the flat felled seam. And this is what you often see on your jeans. This is that double heavy stitching that you'll see on the, usually on the inseam, sometimes on the outseam of a jean, of work clothes, that sort of thing. But it can also be really pretty and decorative. So we're assuming that we have a 5/8 inch seam allowance on our project. I'm doing this in a heavier fabric because it usually is done in a heavier fabric. And we're going to put wrong sides together, which is not normally how you sew. And we're going to sew our 5/8 inch seam allowance. This is just a straight stitch. Do back stitch. And I'm sewing in an opposing color to make it easy for you to see. So there's our straight stitch. And now what we would do is go to the ironing board and we'll press this flat like that. And then we're going to trim away one side. Now the side you trim away is the underneath. It's the side we're going to go towards. So if you're doing a pair of jeans, normally the back side of the jean is the side you trim away because you're going to wrap towards the back if this is an out seam. So I'm going to go ahead and trim off underneath here, and we're going to trim it down to about 1/4 inch, maybe a little less. Just like that. So now you can see I have a long seam allowance and a short seam allowance. And this long seam allowance is actually going to wrap over the short seam allowance and to the back like that. And now I'm ready to edge stitch down that fold. Now I would recommend, if you're doing this, to do all of this part at the ironing board. Get it nice and flat. Put a few pins in it so that it stays where it belongs. And now we're ready to edge stitch. And when I say edge stitch, what I mean is we're going to stitch right next to this folded edge through both layers. So it's going to be nice and flat like this, and we'll stitch right through. You may have an edge stitch foot or a straight stitch foot, something that helps you stay right on the edge. I'm just using an open-toed foot, and you don't want to fall off. You want to keep it nice and straight, so do whatever you need to do to keep it even. If you need to, you can move your seam allowance all the way over so that the folded edge rides against the inside of the toe of your foot. That's a great way to do it. And now we're ready to top stitch. If you're a good straight stitcher, flat felled seams are great for doing an opposing color on. So this, I did white, but white looks great on this. And that is a flat felled stitch, and that's what it looks like on the back. It's completely self-enclosed. It's really strong, great for heavy coats, for jeans, for workwear, anything like that. And this is now ready to go into your notebook. And I will have in the link below where you can go get printables to print out the page to mount this on in your notebook, and that has the little step-by-step directions of what we did.